Okay, hello, Dr. Michael.
Hello, Dr. Philip.
So today is our podcast number 5. What are we discussing?
Let's talk about trade secrets. So, in the class, we've talked about how trade secrets is often the forgotten intellectual property right.
Mhm.
So, how do we understand trade secrets?
Trade secret is a secret.
Very good.
Trade secret is a secret that you keep because when you receive a patent, you need to register it with the government. So it's published immediately, and after 20 years, anyone can replicate it. Copyright again is visible to everyone. So trade secret it could be like a formula of your pizza, algorithm of your AI, things like this. But in the digital age, how do you keep a secret? And another question, follow-up question: can people just reverse engineer your pizza?
Right. So, the reason we often forget about trade secrets is, to your point, they're secret. Often we don't know about them. There are some famous trade secrets, the Coca Cola recipe, the KFC recipe, and so on. But there are lots of trade secrets that we never hear about. Maybe if you work in a particular industry, you might have heard about them. I saw one study from about 10 years ago that said actually stealing trade secrets between companies costs the major economies 1 to 3% of GDP. So actually that's a lot of money companies stealing trade secrets from each other. So they really matter. The question is, how can you keep them secret, and what do you need to do to make a trade secret secret?
Well, like the KFC and Coca-Cola, they're keeping the recipes written down on a piece of paper in a vault. But I think it's kind of a PR stunt,
Yeah.
right? But correct me if I'm wrong. Coca-Cola, um, inside Coca-Cola, only a few people know the secret in full. Everyone else. So basically, they have different compartments that know only what they need to know. So no one knows the full KFC recipe
Yeah.
except for the guy in charge.
Yeah. So you said this is kind of a PR stunt, public relations, and that's partly true. But also, it goes to something very important in intellectual property law is in order to stop someone taking your trade secret or take them to court afterwards, one of the things you have to do is to say, yes, we did try to keep this secret. So it's good PR for Coca Cola to say, we've got this bank vault, we keep the recipe in there. But also legally, it could be quite important if someone tries to steal their trade secret to say, look, we made a real serious effort to keep this secret. Let's talk about the point you raised earlier. How do you do this in a digital age?
Well, here's the story. When I was 24, I was working for a company as an analyst, um, and they gave me a computer, and this computer was connected to their computer, and there was a proprietary software, and I've undergone training, and then at the very end of my training, I had to sign some document, and I couldn't understand what's the point, so I signed it. But there was a clause that said, once I'm terminated or I quit on my own, for the next few years, I cannot work as an analyst for another company. And this form is called non-disclosure agreement, NDA. So uh, basically, you use legal uh, methods to keep people quiet. So let's say I would quit the company, which I did, then I cannot go and talk about the proprietary software, the training I had with them, because they could sue me.
Yeah. And there have even been some cases where, even though someone hasn't been caught taking the secret, it's been assumed by a court, if they went to another company, that they must have taken some of that knowledge with them. So, as you say, they've signed a non disclosure agreement. Again, that's very important for any business. A court or a judge will ask, did you get your employees to sign an agreement that they wouldn't take your trade secrets somewhere else?
And the key thing with the trade secrets is courts are looking whether these secrets helped you earn the money,
Yeah.
whether you protect it.
Yeah.
So if it's some proprietary software but it doesn't really improve your bottom line, then it's, anyone could use it. So what's the point of keeping it as a secret? But if uh, people come to eat at your pizza shop because of the superior taste, then yes, you need to keep this
Yeah.
as a secret to protect your profits.
Yeah. So exactly, those are the two key tests. Is it valuable in some way to your business? Did you try to protect it? And can you show that you tried to protect it? Putting it in a bank vault, getting your employees to sign a non-disclosure agreement, and so on.
Because I went online and in a few seconds I was able to Google the recipe, the KFC recipe, all those hidden herbs. So you can basically make it at home, and they cannot really copyright or patent,
Yeah.
oregano and black pepper
Yeah.
mixture. So what's the point of keeping it? It's a publicity stunt these days, and also I think it's just for publicity because anyone can do it.
It might
But
be.
people are so used to KFC that even if I do make exactly the same chicken, no one will come to Philip's chicken.
Exactly. Exactly. So this is something we want students to think about. When could you use a trade secret? In one sense, it's easy to have a trade secret, something valuable for your company, get people to keep it secret. Or when do you use another mechanism like a patent, maybe copyright? As you said at the beginning, the difference with patents, copyrights is they're public. So if you're creating your business or running your business, you need to think about, is this something I could keep secret? Is it possible I could keep it secret in the future? If not, maybe think about a patent, maybe think about copyright. But if you think you could keep it secret for the next 5 years, 10 years, maybe trade secret would be an easier way to do it.
There's a famous case right now. ChatGPT, OpenAI, are not happy that DeepSeek from China kind of reverse engineered the algorithm for their AI, and DeepSeek is silent about that. But some people online are saying, why is ChatGPT furious about that when they themselves were scrambling the internet
Yeah.
for data?
Yeah.
So if courts were to say yes, DeepSeek stole from ChatGPT, ChatGPT would be sued by those whose data was used for the training of the ChatGPT's
Yeah.
models.
Yeah. So let's finish by explaining this idea of reverse engineering, because you mentioned that earlier. What do we mean by reverse engineering?
So it's kind of again coming back to KFC. You go to KFC, you like their chicken, and then you think without breaking into the vault, bribing the employees, you think, what? Oh, it tastes like oregano and maybe black pepper and maybe a hint of cinnamon, and then you mix. Oh yeah, it's exactly the same. So you reverse engineer um, the KFC chicken taste.
Yeah. So it would be like me if I was Samsung going into the Apple shop, buying an iPhone, then taking it apart, seeing how it works, and then maybe see if I can copy some of those
Yeah.
ideas. Okay. So the point about that is, if you think your idea can be reversed engineered, can be found out in that way, what's the best thing to do? Does trade secret work in that situation?
I think for electronics, the best thing is patent, even
Right.
though it expires after 20 years. Well, in the world of technology, 20 years is, forever. Uh, book, you copyright the book. Um, so I think trade secrets kind of, in my opinion, dying animal now because you can reverse engineer anything. We have labs, you can test anything. So, but what could be a trade secret? I was telling my students today. For example, you are Starbucks and you are conducting employee training, and you have them sign non-disclosure agreement. So whatever happens in this training is kept as a secret, and maybe it will help you earn more profits in the future.
Yeah. And I guess the final thought I have is, in a world where you say technology is moving very quickly, innovation and so on, you've got to assume that your secrets or even your patents and so on, they're not going to stay protected for that long. So you've got to keep innovating, you've got to keep coming up with new ideas. You can't build a company on something you invented 20 years ago.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a good thing to think about.
Thank you. Keep innovating.
Keep innovating.